What's up, y'all? If y'all hear me say if it's episode 14, it's actually episode 13. That's my bad. I went ahead of myself, and I'm like, dang, why did I go ahead of myself? But enjoy anyway. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Dropkick Chronicles, episode 14. I know it's been a long time, but I'm your man Trey, and I want to go ahead and get into WWE Extreme Rules 2022. Now, Extreme Rules was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Extreme Rules 2022 was one of the greatest premium live events to date. Now, before I get into the match card, I would just want to say that last night was, man, you're talking about a lot of moments and a lot of, matches, and all the matches had stipulations. That's what got me, because it hasn't been an Extreme Rules in a long time that every match has a complete and utter great match card. And I just like to say again, Triple H is doing a great job, man. Triple H has got, it seems like he has the wrestling world on his neck. He's turning the wrestling world upside down. You get to say wrestler now in WWE. You get to cuss now in WWE. You get to do a lot of things that you couldn't do when Vince McMahon was running the company. That just goes to show. You can do a whole lot more things now. And to really be honest with y'all, man, I'm loving it. I'm loving the things that's happening in WWE, because it's not like it's new. It's just, it's like it's out of left field, man. It's like, dang, they got a lot of stuff that that they are doing. They got a lot of stuff that they're doing, new wise, you know what I'm saying? So, man, I just want to say big ups to WWE, big ups to Triple H, big ups to the writing team, the creative team, everybody, the staff, man, not front and not, messing on AEW, but it's like, dang, WWE has, in a short time, in 2 months or 3, has literally become the place to be. It's become the place to be. So, like, man, anytime you got Karrion Kross returning, you got, superstars who had their names shortened, they got their original names back. Man, you got good creative decisions going on. And it's like, man, what are the odds? What are the odds? So that's the thing. WWE, they're on a roll now. They're on a roll now. And I heard, a special superstar return, a man who got released in 2020. I think shortly after he lost the Universal Championship, and Roman Reigns won it. I think him, and of course, I think I told you Braun Strowman has also returned. Braun Strowman returned, I think, last month. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, a month. I think about 3 weeks ago. I was gonna say a month ago, but I could be wrong. But still, Triple H is doing an excellent job making sure that everything runs smoothly. You got Triple H, you got Nick Khan, you got Triple H, Nick Khan, and Stephanie McMahon, which is Triple H's wife. So you're talking about, things that have really, really drastically changed in WWE. Things like, booking, writing, promos. One thing that is going to change in WWE is championships. Now, I've heard people say that the tag team titles look like quarters. The plates on the tag team championships look like quarters. And they do, because they're silver. And, I miss the tag team titles and all championships being gold. We like, gold championships with black straps. Not saying colorful, color straps are bad. It's just like, man, where's the originality in it? If you're going to have a brand split, you're going to have, original championships. You're going to have actual real championships that seem winnable, seem buyable in WWE shop. So, as I get into WWE Extreme Rules 2022, I just want to say it was a great show. Man, I really enjoyed it last night. So, without further ado, I want to get into the Brawling Brutes, which the Brawling Brutes are, again, Butch, Ridge Holland, and Sheamus. That's the trio. Versus Imperium, which is Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci. So, this match, and like I said before, every match is a stipulation match. So, that means, every match, has a special stipulation to win. Now, this is a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. For those of you that don't know what the good old-fashioned Donnybrook match is, it is literally a bar fight. Of course, you say, you got the Brawling Brutes. Their favorite phrase is fight night. Of course, you have two Irishmen and a Britishman. Or should I say an Englishman? Two Irishmen and an Englishman in a group. It's going to be fight night, of course. Then, they're fighting Imperium, but I think what this is, it is a feud, an ongoing feud between Sheamus and Gunther. And this feud is boiling over to the top. Of course, because the night before last, on SmackDown, you had an Intercontinental Championship match. Now, mind you, Sheamus has never won an Intercontinental Championship before in his career. So you would think that, okay, Sheamus is going to win, and it's Sheamus' night. If you thought that, you thought wrong. Simply because Sheamus got cheated. Yeah, he got screwed. It's all right. He got screwed out of the championship match because, Imperium, the ring is sacred. We don't use weapons. But you used a shillelagh on the man to make sure you keep the championship. That's what I don't understand. Why would you say you don't want to use weapons and you just use the weapon to retain a title? I don't understand that. Huh? That's hypocrisy, if you ask me. But then again, that's just the way it is, man. I mean, they used, illegal tactics, because that was a regular match. They had the referee distracted, and they used illegal tactics. That's what they did. So, I just want to say, man, overall, the 6-man tag team match, it was pretty action-packed. After the match, Sheamus's chest it looked like hamburger meat. Raw hamburger meat that you put on the skillet, and the blood got to come out so you can eat it. But it looks like raw hamburger meat. I was like, wow, they was really, really chopping chest. Because if it came down to me getting my chest chopped, I'm sorry, I'd have to opt out. I'd be like, nope, forfeit. Nope, I'm good. You know, you won. It's all right. I don't want to do this. But, man, that just goes to show Sheamus can actually take a beating. And he can give one, too. That's true. So, you're looking at, you know, a good match. A good 6-man tag match in which Imperium won. Of course, they had illegal tactics again, just like on SmackDown. They had illegal tactics. He hit the man with the shillelagh, pinned the man. That was it. Actually, no. What am I saying? I'm wrong. Forgive me. No, the Brawling Brutes won. Yeah. That's right. That's because, that's the story. The Brawling Brutes won. Sheamus won the match for the Brawling Brutes via bro kick to either, I think, Ludwig Kaiser or Giovanni. I think it was Giovanni Vinci, if I'm correct. So yeah, man. So man, you talking about a brutal match? You know, I feel like at the beginning it seemed like Imperium had the match, and you thought I kept saying like, man, Imperium is gonna win this match. Imperium is gonna win this match. But no, just when you thought that somebody you thought was gonna win the match didn't win, that's when you thought, the other person won. So I mean, you know, you never know, man. You know, matches are not supposed to be predictable. You're not supposed to, you know, be able to predict the outcome of a match. That's just in my opinion of a wrestling match. You're not supposed to be able to predict the outcome of a wrestling match. So, enough about that. I don't want to spend any more time on this one, so I'm going to go to the next one, which is the SmackDown Women's Championship match, then champion, Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey. And just like I said before, every match has a stipulation, and this one is an Extreme Rules match. This match, no disqualifications, no countouts, and you also can use weapons, but you have to win via pin or submission, which is a great thing, simply because, you know, I would like to use weapons as well if my championship was on the line, of course. You know what I'm saying? So you're looking at, you know, Liv Morgan being the underdog and things like that. I mean, you look at her and you think that, oh wow, look at this little person who won the championship via Money in the Bank cash-in. She, you know, has got by on a little, what I like to call a little bitty pathway. She got by little each championship match when she defended her championship. You know, she got by little. That's what I call, it's not a weasel, but it's somebody who's being protected. Somebody's like, okay, all right, we're gonna have you win the championship. You're not gonna lose until about, we'll give you like 4 months or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about somebody who, you know, has been wanting to win the championship for a long time, and you know how that feels. You know, that's your dream, and that's something you coddle and something you protect. You know, but you know, Liv Morgan, I was happy for her when she actually became champion. I was happy. I'm like, finally, you know, Liv Morgan, who had worked hard for a very long time to not only be in the WWE, be a part of WWE, you know, be a part of Riot Squad, then stopped wrestling for a while and said that when she comes back, she's gonna be a whole lot better. Boom. Years later, like 2 years later, they gave her a chance. This year, this was Liv Morgan's year to become champion and scratch and claw and the old little underdog stories they be telling you. On Ronda Rousey, we all know her story, of course. UFC, she was the first woman in UFC to become a Hall of Famer, and she's probably really the first woman to win a UFC. I think a UFC welterweight championship. Yeah, welterweight championship and a WWE Women's Championship. Yeah. So you know her story, and she's no underdog. So hey, it's ended up being just a drag out cat fight with weapons. Liv Morgan came in, she tried to use the baseball bat, didn't connect, didn't succeed. It's okay because Ronda Rousey was there to whoop the crap out of her. So, talking about putting her in a submission hold, and I forgot what submission hold is from, but it's like an MMA submission hold. She ends up putting Liv Morgan to sleep. She ends up winning the match. But as she won the championship, and as she, put her to sleep, Liv Morgan, it seemed like Liv Morgan was smiling. And everybody's like, is Liv Morgan smiling? Is she smiling? What's she smiling? She just lost the match. Why is she smiling? I'm talking about she's smiling sadistically. And I'm going to connect it all at the end. Just hold your horses. Now that we got that squared away, Ronda Rousey wins the SmackDown Women's Championship for the second time. So, like I said, I'm going to move on. So, this match was one of my favorite matches of the night. Now, it was Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a strap match. Now, very rarely in WWE do you see a strap match. A strap match is one of the oldest match stipulations and really one of the oldest matches of all time. A strap match, that's old school. I haven't seen a good strap match in since the 90s. I don't know. Yeah, since the 90s or early 2000s, they hadn't had a strap match in so long. That's just how long it's been, 20 years, But yeah, they had a strap match. Karrion Kross returned, and it seemed like he wanted to just take out Drew McIntyre on his way to Roman Reigns. Now, I still think, Karrion Kross and Roman Reigns, that's money. That's money. Anytime that man he tells people to fall and pray. He, Scarlet Bordeaux, he got Scarlet in there, got the hourglass telling you got, that much amount of time. TikTok. That's what he do. And the guy's pretty compelling, you know what I'm saying? I'd probably be afraid of him too. Like, man, you gonna tell me I got this much time, left until you obliterate me in the smithereens, for real. But yeah, the match was pretty good. Karrion Kross ended up beating the crap out of Drew McIntyre, but Drew McIntyre, that don't mean he walked away unscathed, because he did not. Nobody did. Drew McIntyre got a few licks in, and that was that. Now, I just want to say that match was great. That's why it's one of my favorite matches of the night. It kind of made the pay-per-view a little bit, because it gave the pay-per-view some nostalgia, some not class, but a classic. It was a classic match. You know what I'm saying? A strap match is a classic match. They don't use that stipulation a lot. Just like they don't use another match I miss. The last Four Corners match is to win, you have to kind of incapacitate your opponent and I think you had to be strapped to a rope or something like that. And then you have to touch all all four corners of the ring to win. That stipulation, I think they should really bring back. Now, moving on from Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross strap match, I would like to now get into the Raw Women's Championship match. Now, Bianca Belair is the Raw Women's Champion, and she was in a ladder match against Bayley. This ladder match was something else. I think they had Nikita Lyons and Braun Breaker from NXT. Braun Breaker's the NXT champion. Nikita Lyons is an NXT superstar. And they had them at the show last night, which was pretty cool. They had to sit in the crowd, watch the match, and I heard the guy on video, I think it's on YouTube, he asked Nikita Lyons, he was like, who you got for this Raw Women's Championship match? He said, yeah, I got Bianca Belair. My money's on her. I said, yep, you put your money on the right person. Because guess what? Bianca Belair retained the Raw Women's Championship for the umpteenth time this year. She's held it since she's won it at WrestleMania. Now, if she holds that championship for a year, that'll kind of like solidify her career. I had a world championship that I love, and didn't want to lose and stuff like that. I want to hold it for a year or two as well. Shout out to Roman Reigns. Well, he's been Universal Champion for over 700 days. Hold it to WrestleMania, and I'm be like, this man didn't almost held this championship for 3 years. What? And that's literally giving the Universal Championship a whole lot of prestige on a whole nother level. This man is in God mode. But getting back to the ladder match was pretty cool. Of course, Damage Control came out there, tried to control the damage, literally, because that's why they call them that. You're looking at women who want to maim people, who want to make sure people end up in the hospital with half their limbs broken off. Now, of course, it had seemed like Bianca Belair was going to lose, and it seemed like, Io Sky and Dakota Kai were going to obliterate her, but nope. Bianca Belair lifts both of them on her shoulders to do a KOD. That girl's strong. No cap. And it seemed like, once Bayley came in and, tried to obliterate Bianca Belair and tried to steal the championship by climbing up and taking it. Well, the girl showed up and showed out once again. Tired, broken, bruised, battered, you name it. She literally KOD'd Bayley onto a ladder. But with the ladder in the air, the Bayley landed on the ladder gut first. And with Bayley down, Bianca Belair climbed the ladder and retrieved the championship. Now, okay, I might have been wrong, and I think I am wrong, but I think everybody's anticipating a Charlotte Flair return. I think, and she will return when time is right. She will return in time when the time is right. And of course, she is going to, probably have a program with Bianca Belair and Bayley. If Bayley, decides to make it a triple threat match, and all of that business. But man, yeah, I'm patiently waiting for that as well. Now, moving on, I would like to move on to the I Quit match, which, oh my God, this I Quit match was brutal. And I got some concerns for someone that I will name on the reporting of this match. Please bear with me. Now, what I want to say is this match, the I Quit match, is Edge versus Finn Balor. When I tell you this match was freaking brutal, oh my God, it was nothing short of sweet. That's all I can say. Okay, you got two people And it's really Edge's fault. It's his freaking fault. Because why would you create a freaking faction and then they turn on you? Now you want to feud with them. You want to wrestle them. Now, which really I thought, and then it's just all over the place, man. Like, why would you, come on, man. Why would you he created the Judgment Day faction. The group. The Judgment Day. He created them. And now they jumped on him, they turned on him, and he want to fight him now. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Now, they gone ahead and took over Raw. They took the heck over. Like, why? Like, come on, man. It didn't have to. I don't know what were you trying to do? He could have literally took them under his wing without creating the faction. But hey, Judgment Day in the real, kayfabe wise, Judgment Day has been dominating, man. They've been getting more TV time, more extended TV time, which a faction should. I really believe a faction should get not all the TV time, of course, but they should get a lot of TV time. That way, they get momentum behind them, and build as a group. Much like the legendary factions of wrestling, But what I want to say is, man, the Edge versus Finn Balor match was so brutal, man. You talking about, beating each other to a pulp until one of them says, "I quit." But it all boiled down to the Judgment Day. Damian Priest trying to come down, because he saw Edge winning the match. He had, Edge was literally about to concerto Finn Balor. I wished it would have happened too. I wished it would have happened. I said, you should have never, once you destroy, once you create something, you create a monster, it's hard to destroy. I heard one of the commentators, I think Corey said, the scientists didn't really mean to create the monster Frankenstein, but he did, and Frankenstein took over. That's what the heck Edge did with the Judgment Day. I don't understand it. Why? Why did you need to eradicate, the WWE? Why did you need to do that? I don't understand that. But hey, that's well, I guess that's what it is. But hey, man. Hey, that's the thing. Of course, I have one more match to cover, and then a special reveal. I'll get to that in a minute. But Beth Phoenix ends up defending her husband, and I'm like, why? But Edge wouldn't quit the match. He wouldn't say quit. He wouldn't say the words "I quit." He wouldn't say it. He's like, go to hell, screw you, and Samoa. He said that literally, like, them not my words, them his words. He said that on the microphone every time the referee asked him. And talking about they fought in the crowd in Samoa. Weapons were involved in Samoa because it's an I quit match. Only way you can win the match is if you get you incapacitate your opponent. Excuse me. You incapacitate your opponent and you get them to dispute the words out. I quit. So that's the only way you win the match. Now, they didn't set up here and jumped on Beth Phoenix because, I think they set up a program for Rhea Ripley versus Beth Phoenix. They were talking about it months ago. And I was like, I can see that happening. So I was like, okay, now this is a good way for, they to kind of like write her. And she really wasn't on TV. They can kind of like write off TV, and then she'll spend a few little months away. Then she come back, face Rhea, in a match or something like that, But they didn't set up here, made Edge say I quit. And then after he said, because they were going to concerto, before he said the words I quit, they were threatening to concerto Beth Phoenix. Concerto is when you place somebody's head on top of a chair, and then you get another chair and you slam their head. And you hit them in the head while It's a thing. But after he even said the words "I quit," he said it twice. They still concertoed this woman, man. I was like, why they do that? I was like, well, in all seriousness, they setting up a program for Beth and Rhea to face each other. So, I mean, it was a sick way. It was a real sick way to do that. But okay, we get the point. But man, moving on from that craziness. Oh my God! When I tell you this premium live event was one of the greatest. Woo! So we are moving on now. This is the last match that I'm going to report on this card, which is the Fight Pit match. Yes, the MMA stipulation match. Yep. Now, what we want to do now is we have Matt Riddle versus Seth freaking Rollins, or just Seth Rollins, we got that, and it's the thing, man. That's the thing. The Fight Pit match was brutal too. We had the slamming of heads into the cage. We got jumping off of the actual top of the cage, because the cage is like 25 feet in the air, man. It's the Fight Pit. It's nothing like a Hell in a Cell or a steel cage, or elimination chamber. It's nothing like that, but it's similar. The Fight Pit is in the mixed martial arts type of cage, where you don't got no ring rope, so you pretty much don't have no type of protection. You can't run the ropes or nothing like that. So the only way, I think they climbed the Seth Rollins, they climbed the top of the actual cage where the ring, well, not the ring, but yeah, they climbed the top of the cage. He fought in the cage. What did it really get pedigreed on top of the cage? I think he did. But then again, he ends up RKOing Rollins on the cage, and then Rollins, the ring, because the cage has no give and you don't got nothing to hang on to, Rollins ends up hanging on to something. It was a small little pole beam, or beam pole, and he ends up falling to the mat. As Rollins is down, back to the mat, Riddle, crazy but gonna sit up here, stand on top of the cage. Meanwhile, the cage is open, it's not closed, it doesn't have a roof. So he stands on top of the cage and he sets up what looks to be for a senton off the top of the cage. Meanwhile, this is high in the air, this is above the ring. Lands a senton, and man, both men are hurt. So you can either, to win this match, you can either tap out or be knocked out. So no, hold on, my bad. You have to tap your opponent out, or you have to knock them out. Riddle ends up putting Seth in a submission. I forgot what submission is, like a type of chokehold. It's a type of MMA submission hold. Ends up submitting Seth, because of course, Riddle got to win this. He lost at Clash at the Castle. He got to win this, and sure he did. And you wouldn't guess who the guest referee was. It was Daniel Cormier. He's a former UFC fighter. He's a UFC Hall of Famer too. So after Riddle gets his hand raised, the lights go out, and you wouldn't guess who returned. So you remember the Firefly? If anybody remembers the Firefly Funhouse, from the guy who used to do him, The Fiend. If anybody remembers that, the friends, the Funhouse friends. Man, you talking about a long-awaited return. And guess who ends up returning at the very smack dab end of the Premium Live event? Just as they finna go off air. Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt has returned, y'all. And he's back. He back in a big way. I'm talking about the man. It's like he keep reinventing himself. And I mean, you know, in the real world, like now that Triple H is back, things, I told y'all, man, things get to happen now. Things like we free. We free to do what we want. You know, of course, we provided, you know, supervision and provision and stuff like that. You know, supervision, provision, you know, things like that. So you talking about